Okay, tonight is January the 20th, well, it's the 19th, 2022, and I'm making this recording because I need to do my business plan to get it together. But it's at night, it's late, and I don't have a lot of light, and I don't want to strain my eyes, even though I really want to write tonight, but I don't have it, and I'm bored, and I drank entirely too much Mountain Dew, so I'm amped up, and I don't have no friends and no one to talk to, so I'm talking to my recorder and kind of listening to my thoughts out loud to see what I want to do and to see what the Lord puts in my heart. But it was in my intent to smoke some weed tonight and write out my business plan and go somewhere like Panera Bread or somewhere and sit down and write out my business plan. I gave myself a week to get it done, and it is a lot that needs to go in there. So what I'm thinking of first and foremost is I want to have a city within a town. I want to have a compound. I don't want just I want a compound with different sectors. So the way that I come up with it today, the 7 organizations are, okay, so under Grace Foundation, and I was wondering, I asked the Lord, is Grace Foundation one of itself, and I'm thinking that Grace Foundation is one of itself, because Grace Foundation is where the money goes and is spread out over the other businesses. So Grace Foundation, I didn't have it as one earlier, but I'm thinking now that I hear myself out loud that Grace Foundation needs to be a separate entity of itself, although it's the umbrella over the others. So what I have is a total of 7, and I got Grace Foundation, I got Mama's House, I got Prep 22, I got Fed, I got Grace's Law, I have Forgive, and I have Anxiety and Depression Institute and app, and then I have Reach the Children. So if I look at it like that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so 1 is not going to be it. And so anything that's not going to bring glory to God is going to be taken out. And so if I only leave what is godly in this, then I would be taking out Prep 22. But I need Prep 22 because I want Prep 22 to go along with Grace's Law, and because I want to have the FBI get behind me, and if they do get behind me and what I'm saying and convict the person that did this to me, then and allow my story to be public the way that it needs to be and allow me to tell my story, then Apple will give me the $165 million for Prep 22, because people have no idea how this person can get in your device and just hop in there and do whatever they want to do, and you don't know it until something moves, and people see it all day long and think, oh, my phone is just retarded, let me turn it off and on. No, your phone is not retarded. Your phone is actually smart. That's why it's called a smartphone, and somebody is in it. And 9 times out of 10, when you see it malfunctioning, it's not because your phone just needs an update. It's 9 times out of 10, if it's continuous, someone is in it and you need to have it checked. Well, needless to say, I want to have, so if I went under each one, Grace Foundation is the umbrella for Mama's House. And then Mama's House is a separate entity. Mama's House is first and foremost because it is the most needed in the community. And then I put Prep 22 after that because people need to know about their device security. And I call them mice. Get the mice out of your device. And I want the police to see it that way because I want them to understand you never see a rat coming in. You just know that he got in there. And you got to go through the work of finding how it got in there. Well, it's the same with the device. And so I wanted to have put together a pamphlet or brochure of letting people know how this person can really get in your device and sabotage it, literally, and be in there and be stealing your money and you have no idea. And just imagine if they're in a billionaire's account. Just imagine the danger of this person with federal grade intel that they don't need to have, first of all. And they're pulling up next to a billionaire's phone or device because they have looked for them. They know where they are. So this is easy peasy. And they pull up and they hop in and they're just ciphering little bits at a time. That person will never know. And so, especially if it's automatic and set, they will never know. And so they're stealing. And just imagine if they did that to about 10 people all day. Just imagine if they went in and shopped like they do with my device, even though I don't have any money, but they have my device hooked up through to accounts that they have that I know nothing about. So in that saying, why my question would be, number one, the FBI needs to be sued, or the government, period, because why are they giving these people this kind of intel to walk around on the street? Why do they need that? They don't. They shouldn't even know about it coming into the FBI until it's needed. And you got to be on a serious case, and it can't be no crystal ketchup case like that. You don't need that kind of information. And they should actually have it where you have to be cleared a certain amount of years before you get the visual access and all of this stuff. But they just give this stuff, and little do they know that the biggest criminals are in the law enforcement, because I'm sitting here in the situation that I've been in, and I'm sitting there and I'm seeing these people, and these people that are agents are giving the intel to people on the street. And that's why it's so widely done and just ignored, because the police is giving it to these people that they're not supposed to have it. And so if the Holy Spirit told me about it and how it was working, but the people that have this information, for example, on September the 19th, when I tried to kill myself, that boy and that girl that's in Walmart buying those computers, their asses need to go to jail, but they are sent. Somebody sent them in there, and they followed me down to the gas station, sat there and watched me take all those pills, and they were in there shopping, and then came out while I'm dying to say, you want us to get Harvard? And they think that's cute. I'm going to tell that in the courtroom, because they were sent by an agent to do that. And you're in Walmart and you bought a computer. And I don't know how many times I done said about them in this situation in Walmart and these computers. And so I'm telling the FBI, why are you allowing these people to do this? And I'm sitting here telling you what they're doing. And they're doing this with a device. And I'm sitting there watching you, and I'm going to tell on you. And they're letting these people just still run rampant. I don't understand. I don't get it. I get what they're trying to do to me and why, which I still know I don't, because I told on a pedophile. They should love me for that, and they don't. They want me to be quiet. They don't want to get into that. But either way, the purpose of this, of Prep 22, and that's just a stage name, that's not the real name for it, is because I need for them to know, I need for them to change the way these devices are used, and I need for the government to issue some serious laws to say, if you get caught doing this, this is automatically life in prison, because it is the worst form of manipulation that a person can go through. So just imagine if you're using your device, you're looking at it, your device is cloned. You think you're controlling your device. You are not. The information you're put in there is just sitting there. The information that is the other person is putting in the device is actually what is going into the device. What I input in my device is not going anywhere. The person is over texting me on a whole different screen that is shared some kind of way. And I'll have to explain it differently but I know exactly the way that it goes. And so the purpose of that is Prep 22 kind of goes along with Grace's Law, because I wanted to get my pamphlet done, get enough signatures to let the government know this is what you need to change, because you're jackasses for this. And you know that this is going on and you're not doing anything about it. And that's why they mainly take the stance of just be quiet on everything, because they got these federal turds out here that they can't control. And they're little miniature demons out here just roaming the earth with all of this kind of capability. And the government is at fault, because you're giving these people this kind of intel that can just come and stand next to you. These people can just stand next to you and be in your device, and there's nothing you could do about it. And the government is letting them know they need to be on their own land, out somewhere by your damn selves, and you can hop into each other all you want to. But they letting them come out here in the world, and it's not fair, because they have unfair capabilities and they don't need it. And so when they come around, you already know when they come around, because everything changes. Everything changes on my device when they come around. If it's music and they come around me, it's done. It's going to cut off. It's going to change. If it's my camera, it's going to shut off. They don't need to be out here walking around like that. I mean, like, I don't think that they should. I don't think I think it's a hindrance, and I think it's too much capability, and it's too much crime going on. And if they're doing it to me and I ain't got no money, you cannot tell me at Christmas time, these thieves, these police ain't out here. Yes, the hell they are. They are killing it. They're killing it. Because I'm telling you right now, it's a clear way that they never get caught. Because number one, you can't see who it is. I know, because God told me. But the average person, you don't know who the hacker is in your phone. You don't know that they're standing next to you in the store, because they have to be within a certain amount of foot to use it. It depends on how it's being used. Because if they're using a card, it doesn't matter where they are. If they're using the device, they have to be within a certain range. And so that's why they used to tell Ketchup all the time to get me in an area. They wanted me in an area, and that's trafficking. But we're going to get back to that in a minute. So you got Grace Foundation, and then you got Mama's House, and you got Prep 22, and then you got Fed. And I was looking today in my notebook to see what God told me Fed means, because all of these names have a meaning. And then we have Grace's Law, which I mentioned. And then we have Forgive. And Forgive is my ministry on forgiveness, because my situation is so bizarre. And Forgive means that for God is our vindicator every time. And then we have the Anxiety and Depression app, of course, and the Institute. See, I want that to be a whole anxiety and depression study, because that will bring in a ton of money within itself. And so as people give, I want them to give to the Grace Foundation. I don't want them to give to a cause. I want them to give to the Grace Foundation, so that this money could be given back to the community as is needed. As I said before, it's already a contract before God. None of my money that people give, none of that comes to me. All of that goes to Grace Foundation. The only money that I get is the 5% on top of every lawsuit I get. So, for example, if Facebook paid me, all of these people will pay me if the FBI get out of the way. All these people are loving the FBI right now, because they know that the FBI is involved, and that they're trying to frame me and with the IRS. And so they're thinking, oh, well, we just won't pay. Okay, well, we're going to let God see about that. Because the longest they hold me up, the more I'm going to keep talking, and the more those people are going to pay, because you're them now being malicious. And I'm going to go back and file on O'Reilly's again, because just for all of the nasty stuff they did around that, and you're going to pay me the full value of that claim plus then some, because now I have proof that you did maliciously and you paid out in, I forgot what the law is, but basically it means that even though you're an insurance company, you you're going to try to beat and scam as normal to not pay out, but you're not supposed to do anything with a dishonest basis. And they did, and I'm gonna tear them apart about that. But either way, so I got Grace's Foundation, I got Mama's House, I got Fed, I got Grace's Law, I got Forgive, and I got the Anxiety and Depression Institute, and then I got Reach the Children. Reach the Children is going to be big, and I want that massive within itself. Each one is, but I have to start one by one. And so to do this business plan is not for all of this. This business plan is only for Mama's House. And that's why it's first. Mama's House is, I need 1,250. It's 6,000 in Anaheim. Each one of these cities, I'm thinking it was 6,000 just in this little area over here. No, it's 113,000 in California, period. And so if I want to be a national resource center, what I need is availability. And so what I was thinking was, if I did a 3-year plan to get 113,000 people off the street, then what I need to do is I need to have assets. That's going to give me about 30,000 people a year plus to help. Now, if I did 30,000 a year to help, then what is that projection a month? So 12 into 30 is 2 a month. So I need to be helping anywhere from 1,500 to 2,000 people per month. Now, if I had the resources and the staff, that is an attainable goal, for the simple fact of, if my facility in one area of California needs to have 1,250. So if I always have 1,250 on my compound, the rest is outsourced, because everyone, I'm thinking, I did the math, if I have to break down this 100%, I'm thinking that probably 57 to 63% is going to be complex cases, meaning they're going to have drug addictions, probably have some serious issues, and they're not, and it's going to be more to it than just getting them off the street. Those people are probably going to be the 63% of my 1,250 that's always on my compound. Those people will have to be resourced out to people that do substance abuse, might be waiting for a bed, but that's why I would have to have partners to do that, because I really don't want to get into that, but I have to be into it in order to be truly helpful and effective. So what I thought about doing was, if it's 57 to 63% that is going to be complex, my other 47% is going to be light. That means they will probably be able to be self-sufficient, probably able to just pay their rent, probably give them a little bit of assistance, probably help with some employment, and then they could be on their way. That is the way that I want. For those people, I want to be partnered with hotels and apartment complexes. If I got burned out victims, if I got domestic violence victims or something like that, I want them to be on site, on the compound. For example, I thought about, on the compound, I want a 400 to 600 unit complex, either on the compound or nearby. I'm thinking that if I had everything on the compound, it's going to cut out all of that gas that shelters use driving people back and forth to work. Even though I said 5 vans for fleet, I want those to be for transportation services that are places that they got to go that I ain't got. And I'm trying to alleviate that issue because I want everything on site. So what I was thinking was, if I have 57% of complex cases, what I need is to do 1,250. That means I need to have I need a 600 to 700 bed facility that I'm able to hold. That's a lot of people, and that's a lot of people in one place. That means that's not going to work. that means I need to break that down and probably have each building anywhere from about 125 to 150 people that is attainable. I don't want any mass crowds together. And I probably would do it age appropriate so that it's not a club. I'm trying to really think about that. So the way that I got it right now is if I did $30,000 a year, that would make my 3-year goal, because you're never, in realistic terms, you're not going to reach 100% of the people, for the simple fact of some people just ain't going to want your program. Some people are just really just going to want their life on the street and may just want to come in for a little while and then going to want to leave. So with that being said, it's never going to be 100% of the people, but for the people that really want help, I want the help to be there. So I'm thinking that what I need to do is partner, and I will have to be partnered with rehabilitation centers. If not, I need to have one on site. I need rehabilitation centers. I need a program. And I just heard the Lord say that if He's restoring these people back, then He wants everything to be done by Him. So that means that Grace Foundation Mama's House will consist of a rehabilitation center, staff, and the adequate substance abuse counselors that are needed to run that center, and to have a program there that will be free and will be covered still under Grace. With that being said, then I can afford to have those people there because I have the staff, and that way when they come in, as long as I have the beds, they can come. So I'm thinking if I had if that one building was my rehabilitation center of Mama's House, then I could have 150 to 300 bed facility right there. Then I got 950 to do whatever. 950 beds is a lot to just be able to take them in. And so I'm thinking the substance abuse, having 300 beds, 150 beds. Let's say if I had 2 units that way, that's a lot. That's a lot of help. Let me see. Then the next thing I'm thinking, if I worked up to 1,250, if I had an apartment complex that I purchased, I was thinking about that too. If I had 2 or 3, that would always keep me with plenty of beds. What I'm thinking is to be able to do 30,000 every year consistently for 3 years, with having places for people to go, no wait times. Immediately you come, we can put you where you need to be. I'm thinking that that's $2,000 a month. That is going to make me have to have at least a rehabilitation center. It's going to make me need an apartment complex. It's going to make me need hotels, and then my facility. I know you see yourself hitting my truck and you just ain't going to say nothing about it. And you just going to get in your truck and act like you didn't hear it at all. Stop hitting my truck. You hear me talking to you? Stop hitting my truck.
You talking to me?
Yeah, you heard me. You're hitting my truck. You're hitting my truck though. Bam, go have a seat and get back in your truck and leave me alone. I didn't say what I want to say. You're not finna make me change my mind. It ain't no accident. He done did it more than once. It ain't no accident. Well, I don't either. You get back in your truck and have a good night. How about that? You ain't gonna stop my mouth. I did. Bye. 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 And he cussing you out. Take your dumb ass on. Lord forgive me. So anyway. So I'm thinking that if it was 4 units available at all times, so I have to have somewhere for my complex people to go. So any drug addicts that come, no matter what the situation is, I need to have somewhere for them to go. They will probably be most important than a normal person because they have complex issues. And so I want to be able to get them situated first and foremost. But I want to do something and put them in a program that's not going to make them feel like they're in jail. I don't want them to feel like they're in jail at all. So the first thing I want to do is I want to identify their crisis. What is in there? What led them there? What got them there? What is the situation? And how we can help. People that are like me that can just need some help and just need some finances, I don't want to put them through a shelter because that is traumatic. So what I'm thinking that I'll need to do, if I was to write this down, this is why I'm doing this, because I ain't got no light. So if I was to do this, I need, for my complex people, I need to have them a rehabilitation center. And then I'm thinking that they're going to be anywhere from 57 to 63%. And then for my other 37%, 40 to 40% on average, I want to be able to have hotels, always a minimum of 209. That number is symbolic. And then I want to have hotels, I want to have apartment units that are owned by Grace Foundation. And I want to have 400 to 600 units. If I did, then if I had two, well, no, I don't want to put my single people, I can put with a roommate. My families, I can put by themselves. Okay, so then I got the complex, I got hotels, I got apartment units, and then what else did I want? I wanted a rehab center, I wanted hotels, I wanted apartment units. Oh, and then my shelter, my center, my resource, my restoration center. They can stay there. So if I did this, then if I did $30,000 a year, if I housed 30,000 people a year, that's giving me a little bit at about over $2,000 a month to house. That means I have to consistently house 2,000 people a month, which is very simple if you got the word out and you got a good program. So if I did 2,000 a month, at 12 months, I'll be hitting about 24. No, I should be going up to 24 a year. That'll be about 24 to 25 a year that I'll be helping. That means if I got 2,000 people a month, then that means that I'm housing. That means that where I'm putting them And 57% of 2,000 is going to be a little bit over 1,000 is going to be in my rehab centers. And then the hotels, the apartments, and my restoration centers can do about 200 to 300 a month. That means that what I will have to be doing is I would have to have a serious turnaround program for this in order to make this really effective. And this is why I'm making this, to hear myself talk it out so that I can hear the error, I can hear the feasibility, and I can hear the logic in it. And so what I'm thinking is, like I said, if I did a 3-year program, a 3-year business plan, and that would take actually it would probably need to be a 5-year, but I want a 3-year because I don't like to do stuff a long time. And as long as I have the money, I can make it happen. All I need is money. So if I had a 3-year plan, and like I said, that's taking about $33,000 a year. And 12 and the 33 is actually going to take my numbers up to about 22 to 25 a month, somewhere in there. And I don't think that's bad. Oh, and then I want to offer also financial assistance. That way, with financial assistance, they may not even have to come to a shelter at all because they got financial assistance, and I help them help pay their rent and stuff like that. So I want that. I need a complex rehab center, and I also want to be partnered. I want to have as many partners as I can. That way, if I had partners or resources where I can refer them, then that's less beds. I still got help and I can help them. Now, in order for this to be really good, I cannot have one location. So I got to have multiple locations. And in order for me to have multiple locations, what I'm thinking is, to start, I need one location, but I can do multiple locations of apartment units. So, for example, if I owned a complex, I can have my complex out somewhere else. So, for example, if I had one in San Bernardino and then one in LA, then I can have something like that. That may be an option. I'm thinking right now, to build out for growth, I'm thinking that I'll start with a 1,250 bed facility. And that it is divided in those 4. Well, it wouldn't be divided. I'm saying that wrong. It would be divided into the rehab center. Now I'm going to change the way that sounds. I don't want that name. It's going to be divided into that traditional restoration, meaning AKA shelter. And then, so I got rehab center, I got the traditional restoration shelter, and then I want it to be divided into sectors. That's too many people in one place. And so the sectors would have to be anywhere from 125 to 150 beds per unit. I don't want a bunch of people at one time. That's too much at risk. and then probably age appropriate. I need to know how much is this going to cost me a month to run. And then I need to know how much is this going to cost me a month to run. All right, and then how much is this going to cost me a month to run? And then after I see how much it's going to cost me to run a month, I need to know how much staff I need. That was the main thing I was thinking about. And I think I need a lot of staff. For 1,250 people to run it, I will probably need a staff of anywhere. I'm thinking for a 1,250 bed facility, and with 63% of them probably being complex individuals, I will need a staff of probably about 50 to 100 people. And I mean only my top grade people. I mean counselors, doctors, that sort of thing. Those are people I'm looking to hire. Everybody else for groundwork, I'm thinking groundwork, inside work, files, all of that. I could pull those skills from the people that I have there because they could get on the job training from mom's house. So I'm thinking that the 100 to 150 people in staff is going to be my main people, my doctors, my counselors, my security. That is what that would be for. The others, I'm thinking that my clients that I'm servicing would actually help me out. Would provide minor labor. And I would definitely need let me see, I need to know that monthly budget. And I have quarterly events. As fundraisers. Needs to be something exciting every quarter. And I need to have graduates, people that have done really, really good. I need to have a fleet. And I want Mercedes trucks. I don't want to have anything else. I want a fleet of Mercedes trucks. Cargo vans. And they're 38 a piece. So that's going to be $200K in vans. And I'm going to need salaries for my workers. And then I'm going to need, and I'm thinking if I got about 300 beds for rehab centers, I'm going to need about 10. I'm going to need about, if I had a 300 bed facility, how many doctors do I need so they're not overwhelmed? That's a good question. I'll probably need to do some research on that and to see how that works, and what I need to do and to see what God put in my heart. I'm thinking that the biggest cost of this is going to be my building. And in my building, I think I want to put my budget as 14 mil to 23 million. California is building new for 53 million. And I thought that their number was very significant. And the first time when I first seen it, I thought about Fifth Third Bank. But I think the governor's proposal plan is somewhere in upwards of $51 to $54 million. But again, they're building new. I did think of a pop-up shelter that they have, something like the Tent Church in Columbia, South Carolina. I don't know what it's called, a dome, and it's just looks like a really, really large tent, but it holds a lot. I thought about one of those as a temporary, because they will allow a lot. The only thing about that is I thought that would be dangerous to have that many people in one area at one time, especially with COVID in an enclosed area. I thought that would just be a bad idea for bed bugs, diseases, all kind. I just thought that would be a terrible idea, so I went against that. But that was my first thing that I thought of that would be immediate that I could do, and I could put up a bunch of those all over the place and get people off the street immediately. I thought that would be great, but I don't think that would be good hygiene wise because of everything that's going on. So I don't know, but that was a thought. And so I thought 14 to 23 million for space. And then I need a clothing provider. Clothing and shoes provider. I want those to be donated. If necessary, then if I had somebody to give me a contract to say, well, we'll give you shoes at any size or whatever. You can order them and just pay, a little bit, or have somebody that give me clothes and shoes. So I'm thinking about that. Lord, forgive me that I did not act like you, but that got on my nerves so bad. That man kept hitting that door, and I didn't understand why he kept hitting it. Because you open the door and you in there. I don't understand why it keeps hitting. And it got on my nerves, and I asked you to forgive me because I didn't act like you. But I hate noise, and I hate people hitting stuff. And he hit the door too many times, and it got on my nerves. And I asked you to forgive me because I did not act like you at all. And I'm supposed to be acting like you, and I didn't act like you. So what I'm thinking is, that would be what I need to do. So you got 14 million to 23 million for space. You got clothing and a shoes provider. The next thing I'm going to need, I have the monthly budget to see what that monthly cost is going to be like. I have no idea. And what else I'm thinking that I'm going to need is, I said if they work there, and if I'm probably outsourced at some other places, that would probably be good too. So outsourcing, the only thing about it is I didn't want to outsource because that's going to make me run into gas, and I didn't want to run into gas taking people back and forth. I don't want to do that. Usually shelters that are small, to have a lot of people that don't have places for them to work and they can't pay them, meaning I don't know how that will work, if labor laws will allow me to let